A massive thank you to Carlos, Raytrace, Connell, Checo, and Nicola for subscribing to the channel. If you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you subscribe down below. Hello everyone, and welcome back guys to a brand new video, where today we're here back with round 17 of Season 2 of our F1 2021 My Team Career Mode. Yesterday, we head to the Mexican Grand Prix. If you missed out on yesterday's video from COTA, definitely recommend going back and checking out, of course, the US Grand Prix. I don't want to leave too many spoilers at the start of this video, but a new world champion might or might not have been decided in yesterday's episode as well for you guys. Of course, you can probably work out, if you've been keeping up with this series, who that person might be there. But heading in towards this weekend's Grand Prix, the Alpine and Williams now officially ranked better than us as well there. And Pierre Gasly finishing P5 last weekend in what is now the 9th fastest car in Formula 1 is kind of mad. As well as we head in towards Mexico this weekend. If we don't get any rule changes, I'm probably going to start trying to apply some upgrades again. And I don't think if you get anything past Mexico, I can't see them announcing anything any later on into the year as well. So we'll wait and see about that as we head into this weekend there as well. But championship-wise, tied now with Carlos Sainz. We've got both Aston Martins as well, tied 4 points behind us. 4 cars, 4 races, 4 points. Let's dive in to the Mexican Grand Prix weekend. Right, well, as we head into Mexico then, it looks like Renault have released another upgrade to the car as well. That hasn't really helped us out much in terms of performance, but no more rule changes announced. I don't think we're getting any at the end of Season 2 here, so we've got 6,000 R&D points. I'm going to take the risk now and try to spend them as we head into this weekend now. Don't really want to go with too many aero upgrades. You can see they were still pretty good on the aero side of things. Chassis-wise, though, are we doing alright there? We're pretty mediocre on the chassis, so we'll go with one upgrade there as well. That should be ready after Australia in a couple of races. I think it really is still the engine where we're losing all the performance. Yeah, we're still ranked as one of the worst engines in Formula 1 at the moment, so we're definitely going to splash some R&D points on some upgrades there as well. We've actually reached department capacity. We also need a couple of durability bits as well there, so spending a lot of R&D points before we dive into this weekend there. 900 R&D points left. I don't think we can do anything else at the moment. Not on those facilities anyway. Anything we can do on the aero? Yeah, we can go with the diffuser additional strakes as well. So we're taking a big gamble. If somehow now we get some rule changes ready for next season, then we're pretty screwed. But you can see there, all those upgrades should bring us right back up in line with the likes of McLaren and Aston Martin. Let's dive in properly now for the Mexican Grand Prix. Oh, look at that. We got some weather heading later on in the weekend. That might be interesting. Well, 4 races to go then of Season 2 of the F1 2021 Career Mode, and still there is a lot to be decided and sorted out ready for Season 3. I have, currently at the time of recording this, the poll for whether we're going to sign Schwartzman again has just gone up. By the time this video has gone live, if you haven't already checked the community tab out, make sure you go and do so to make sure you get your vote in as to whether you want to see Schwartzman as our potential teammate for next year. We've got a few guys in the running for it at the moment. Most likely, it looks like Bottas and Pierre Gasly are certainly 2 drivers we're eyeing up ready for next season. But again, if you guys do vote against Robert Schwartzman, I will let you guys know all of the available votes ready for the new season. A couple of interesting ones, I think. Yeah, hopefully I've tried to make it a bit more interesting for you guys as well. But let me know down in the comments below who you'd like me to try and sign ready for the new season. But yeah, let's just try and smash our way through free practice. Oh, that's a bit wide there. It's not quite the line we wanted. And yeah, fingers crossed then we can get into this Grand Prix weekend. Of course, Mexico last season was an absolute banger here on F1 2021. See a couple of iconic clips as well. But yeah, whether today will be the same is a very different question. But a very difficult decision to make.
You've nailed what we asked for. Keep it up.
Love that from the team. Yeah, got a very difficult decision though heading into this weekend. The likes of the Energy Store still very worn out at this stage of the year, as well as the ICE. Not sure they'll hang on to the end of the year, but Mexico generally is a really good track. That's a top tip for you guys. Mexico is always a good track to try and go for some engine replacements, just because it's so much easier to overtake at than the likes of Brazil, Australia, and of course Abu Dhabi right at the end of the year. So just trying to sort of and ah about whether we should swap out a couple more parts this weekend. It's not quite the line through there. Or whether we try and hang on and hope we can make progress at Brazil next time. Right in the final corner though to complete our race simulation run.
Okay, super job so far. We're getting great data. Stay focused.
Purple score, love that. Heading out, though, onto our tyre wear program. I think what we're going to have to do, I'm just going to swap out every single component on the engine side of thing ready for this Grand Prix. There are a couple of reasons for that. One, like I said, obviously Mexico, much easier to overtake that than the next couple of Grand Prix. But far more importantly, if all these upgrades do come onto the car, I really want to have a nice fresh engine, no grid penalties, to really try to utilise it in the final couple of weekends of the year here. So we're going to complete our tyre wear run. We're going to put a whole fresh engine in the back of the car, so it will mean we're starting from the back of the grid again. But I think it's worth it long term, so maybe the final 2 races of the year, Australia and Abu Dhabi, when all the upgrades are there, we can really try and just show everyone else what we're made of, ready for next season. Come on, Giovinazzi, get out of the way, man. Out of the final corner. That is going to be the nice purple score.
Okay, test complete, and that was a very good job indeed. We got a lot of valuable information out of that.
More well-earned R&D points there, but yeah, like we said, fresh engine in the back of the car. Let's dive into the Mexican Grand Prix. Right, I've literally just jumped into FP3 for the Grand Prix here. You can see everything is set to 0%. So if somehow now we get into the Grand Prix and we're back on the old parts, there is definitely an issue with F1 2021. I don't normally feature these sort of weird little outtakes and blooper bits, but I just wanted to prove for you guys is who's that? Hamilton.
Welcome along to the most populous city in North America and home now to the Mexico City Grand Prix. It's a sellout crowd as usual here at one of the shortest circuits on the Formula One calendar. So who, I wonder, will the crowd cheer on today to the top step of the podium? At 2,285 metres above sea level, the thin air of the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez poses a unique challenge, not just to a driver's skill, but to the efficiency of their engines as well. 17 corners make up a lap of this 2.6-mile circuit, and you can expect incredible speeds in excess of 220 miles per hour, and overtaking too into the hard braking zones of turns 1 and turn 4. Anthony Davidson joins me once again in the commentary box, and it's fantastic to have you with us here today, but I'm curious, as a man with experience out on the track, how do you stop those pre-race nerves from becoming overwhelming when you're lining up on the grid?
But from the moment qualifying's over, you start to feel the adrenaline in your body build up and the buzz in your stomach as you anticipate the run down into turn 1. It's all a bit like going into battle, and the unknown situation makes you nervous. Those pre-race nerves are a good thing. The day you don't have them means that you don't care anymore. And of course you have to make sure that all the procedures are second nature to you, so that they're not taking up too much of your capacity.
Off the back of a fantastic qualifying session, it's time to see how our starting grid looks for today's race. An immense lap from Lewis Hamilton yesterday puts him on pole position, edging out Max Verstappen, who'll start from P2. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Leclerc, Perez, Carlos Sainz, and Russell, Stroll, Bottas, Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty, and Esteban Ocon, Norris, Tsunoda, Christian Lundgaard, and Giovinazzi. Gasly, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty. Fernando Alonso, and Guan Yu Zhou, and Nicholas Latifi. Mazepin, they've taken a grid penalty. Mick Schumacher, Mr. Monaco, and Robert Schwartzman. That's it then, it's time to go racing as we head to trackside for today's race.
Well, just like at Sochi then last season, it appears that both 2 and 2... like at Sochi this season, it appears that both 2 and 2 motorsport cars are going to be starting from the rear of the field. Back there, it didn't work too badly. Of course, Schwartzman did an absolute madness down in towards turn 1 and made up like 8 places through the first lap alone in that Grand Prix. Almost scored points. And of course, last season, this was where he scored his very first Formula 1 points as well, obviously, in that carnage-filled Mexican Grand Prix last season out as well there. But the team are recommending the 2-stop strategy here today. Softs onto mediums. Do we reckon? Do we reckon? Let's have a look. Do we reckon? Yeah, it might be difficult. We might be able to do... We might do soft, medium, soft, to be honest. That might be the way to go about it in this Grand Prix here today. But we need to be quick off the start. The potential of rain right at the very end as well. Obviously, that could change as the Grand Prix goes on. That might either push in quicker, push in even later on once the Grand Prix is over as well. You just don't know here on F1 2021. But let's dive in then to the Mexican Grand Prix. 5 red lights, and it's lights out, and away we go. Again, off to a decent start. We haven't lost any places there. Schwartzman's had a bit of a good one as we head down towards turn 1 there. Both jumping. Mick Schumacher on the long old run down towards turn 1 there. Verstappen trying to pressure Hamilton at the start there. As you can see, everyone just fans out in towards the first corner. Oh, a little bit of contact with Pierre Gasly, who started further back with a grid penalty. Penalties everywhere this weekend there as we try to keep it at the inside of Latifi through the first couple of corners. We have, it looks like we have done so there. A couple of spots then off the start of the Mexican Grand Prix. Just braking a little bit early as we head in through Sector 2 there. Both Gasly and Guan Yu Zhou in their Alpha Tauris as we're getting no room there. I think I spotted that before it happened as well, as everyone just so cautious on lap 1 in this Grand Prix there. Guan Yu Zhou, very, very aggressive with his defending. Luckily we didn't get a better run than we did there. Otherwise that could have been calamitous, a bit like Monza just a few weeks back there. As look at the extra grip we've got though on this much, much softer rubber there. Guan Yu Zhou, he is not willing to give an inch at the start of this Mexican Grand Prix there, and all that does is motivate me more to go for the dive bomb here. Gasly on the hards as well. See you later. I'm at a P16 by the end of that one. That's a dream little start for us. Yes, I think Verstappen has taken the lead. Perez as well up in podium contention in his home Grand Prix after he bottled it last season here. Now all over the back of Giovinazzi on lap 2. Quite brave enough to go for a send this time round. The AI do seem always quite confident into that braking zone. Oh, we thought about it. Try not to shred the rubber too much early on. A bit like Kota last time round. We want to try and keep the tyres in good nick. And fingers crossed later on the race can come to us. And that worked out really nicely last time out in the USA. Whether it'll happen this weekend though, Mexico much more of a 2-stop strategy. Because oh, look at that, Giovinazzi really is struggling in that Alfa Romeo there to the outside. It's a big old squeeze. We get all over the curbing into Sector 3. They're just like keep the wheels inside the white lines there. I'm at a P15. Really have had a good little start here and feeling confident. Just looking at the tyre choice everyone's on, I think a lot of people are going to be trying the 1-stop this weekend. A lot of hard runners still around us, and mediums as well, that might try and go hards to the end. But yeah, we definitely feel like the 2-stop is the way forward here. Fingers crossed it can work in our favour later on, but it does mean we need to really start trying to carve our way through the order. That was a good little run again on Fernando Alonso, but everyone now with the DRS going to make things a lot more difficult.
We think we may see some rain. ETA is about 15 minutes.
Oh, there we go. So the team reckoning the rain's going to come a whole lot earlier in this Grand Prix, and that's going to be interesting to see how it affects the softs versus the medium versus the hard runners in this Grand Prix. Everyone doing something a little bit different to each other. I can't quite get to Alonso back towards turn 1. Then we've got Bottas and Ocon having a bit of a duel up the road. And we try and get a good run out of turn 3 on Fernando. Of course, had a couple of really good battles with him in recent Grand Prix. Is that going to continue here? It looks like it is. Alonso never willing to give an inch against anyone, as he almost goes into the back of Lundgaard there, around the outside though of Fernando on much fresher rubber, or much quicker rubber even. And we're now up at a P14. Love that early on here. Looking at the way the front runners have opened up a massive gap though early on here. It's not filled me with too much confidence early on.
We're leading our teammate by 3.2 seconds.
Come on, Robert, you got to start getting your way through the field, mate, if you want to try and keep that seat for next year. All over the back of Lundgaard though, our former teammate. So we head back down towards turn 1. He gave us a big old squeeze. We just about hold it on the road there. Don't have to take to the grass. But Lundgaard, yeah, having none of it. The other question, of course, is will it get wet enough to actually need some
Check your
inches?
MFD for a new strategy option.
Surely not already, Jeff. Team recommending me do soft medium instead of medium soft. As we have a look past Lundgaard back down towards turn 1 there. Ocon as well, going back against Bottas. Oh, there might have been a little bit of contact there between the two in front of us. We're going to try and see if we can capitalise on this as we head out of turn 3. I don't think we're quite going to get enough of a run there, but Ocon might have a look on Bottas. We do get a bit of a run. Oh, we thought about it. We thought about it. We show the nose, but again, trying to be patient. Come on then, Esteban Ocon. Let's see if he can drag us up towards Valtteri Bottas once more in this Grand Prix. Both of these guys on hards. So the Williams, yeah, again, doing really, really well at this early stage of the Grand Prix. What's that for, Ocon? Honestly, man, we've clearly got a run on you.
Okay, good
Why
work.
do that?
Great pass.
Oh, I'm Bottas, I'm so sorry. We'll let him have that back. That was not great. I completely missed my braking point there. And then just had to go for it. And that's allowed Ocon a bit of a run. We're going to have to let them both back through here. I'm not comfortable in taking that position there. We've been rammed by Lundgaard. It's all going wrong. That was all my fault. I apologise to everyone, but Lundgaard did also crash into the back of me there. But, yeah, apologies to Bottas for the accidental send of the year. Come on then, at the final corner. Bottas and Esteban Ocon once again. Mercedes versus Renault power, and look at the run we've got.
The pit window, you'll be on the mediums.
For the outside of Valtteri Bottas. Oh, we got yellow flags out. One of the McLarens, I think they've looped it. What's gone on there? So riding on board with Lando Norris as we head down towards turn 1. Drops it on the throttle. And Yuki Tsunoda, gets tagged around in the process. So carnage down at turn 1 as Lando and Yuki come together. We were getting a massive run on Ocon though. As unfortunately we can't do anything about it now. I think Lando Norris has been given a penalty there. As what is Yuki Tsunoda doing? He's just sat doing rallycross on the inside of turn 1 there. Lando, yeah, 5-second penalty. Not too sure how he feels about that one. But poor Yuki Tsunoda is terrible year. Just goes from bad to worse. As that's now meant that Ocon and I are battling for the final point.
5 minutes until rainfall expected. 5 minutes until rain.
Team really reckoning this rain's going to come down soon. There's Ricciardo and Leclerc into the pit lane. DRS though on Esteban Ocon again. Ocon tries to move around, but again we've got such a big overspeed on him. What's the point, mate? Now up into P8 of the Grand Prix. Even I can read my own name on lap 9, so we're already at 1/4 race distance, and plenty has happened. Feel like we're definitely starting to cook the rears in this Grand Prix, but we can't afford to pit yet here in Mexico. Team want us into the end of this one, but if the rain does arrive quite soon, then it might not be worth going on to a set of mediums. We might have to do the softs again. Wait until the rain does arrive and see just how bad it gets. Then hopefully we got peak grip still to battle against it. But yeah, this rain could be coming at the worst possible time for us in this race. Yeah, safe to say these tyres are absolutely destroyed at the end of lap 10 here. We have not treated them well early on in this Grand Prix, but into the pit lane we go. Oh, just about get it slowed down in time there. Thought we might have sped into the pit lane. But yeah, huge train of cars are going to fly past us now in this Grand Prix. So we are going to be right towards the rear of the field there. I think one of the Williams has dived in. I'm going to guess that's the Latifi. Oh, come on. That was going to be such a good stop as well. 2.3, but unfortunately it hasn't quite paid off there. Lando, we're going to be out near the McLaren.
Up to speed now. Let's get some heat.
Are we going to be out ahead of Lando Norris? No, we are definitely not. So we head back out the pit lane here. So down in 19th place. Now we do really need the rain to arrive soon. Not too sure why we've seen so many issues to the McLaren drivers with rear end stability over the last few Grand Prix. I'm certainly not going to knock it.
Ahead is 9.4 seconds.
Schwartzman 9 seconds up the road there, but we've got a good run on Lando Norris, who clearly isn't very confident in that Macca at the moment. Goes defensive, 220 miles an hour in towards turn 1 there, and one Brit in an orange car against another. We've pulled it off.
Some information on Joe. They have some kind of mechanical problem.
Oh, Guan Yu Zhou, reliability issues here as Schumacher and Mazepin going hammer and tong back down towards turn 1. Which of the Haas cars are going to come out on top in this situation? Rather unsurprisingly, it's a young Mick Schumacher. Oh, Mazepin gets so out of shape in that Haas car as we head down in towards Sector 3 there. But look at that, Lando Norris is coming at it. Oh, with 3 wides. Oh, there's nowhere I can go there. I'm backing out of that one before we lose the front wing. Oh, that was not great. Mazepin tried, I think, to go completely defensive on the pair of us. Norris went down the middle. And there was just nowhere for me to go on the outside there. So a great little double overtake from Lando Norris. But look at how little grip the Haas has got. We got yellow flags out, though. In Sector 1. Is that Hamilton? Is it Verstappen? It's Max Verstappen, I think, out of the Grand Prix there as soon as the rain starts to fall.
Verstappen. It looks like the problem is terminal. They're retiring the car.
I think it's an engine failure. Let's just double check. Riding on board there with Verstappen, yeah, looks to just be a fairly simple engine failure there. He's been pushing hard to try and match Lewis Hamilton early on in this Grand Prix. But it does now mean his teammate Sergio Perez at his home race is up into P2. Like we said though, rain is beginning to fall there as the stricken Red Bull on the inside of this weird little section of the track. That'd be great if you wanted grandstand tickets around there. But yeah, now we're all stuck in this huge train behind Guan Yu Zhou. And it seems like this year's Mexican Grand Prix might just be as crazy as last. Lando Norris having a look up the inside of Mick Schumacher down in towards Sector 3. Can we be there to capitalise on that? Or just about. Can we have a look around the outside of Lando as well then? No grip around the outside, but he's giving us the room. And look at that, Lando really struggling on the exit of the corner. So I think everyone already starting to struggle with the rear end then. Giovinazzi's in.
That's P15.
Surely that can't be a call for intermediates. Here is Guan Yu Zhou, yeah, still struggling. In at that Alpha Tauri just up the road there. We're making massive gains on the young Chinese driver as we head back down towards Damwon there. The Haskars are still going at it with Yuki Tsunoda of all people. But yeah, Guan Yu Zhou really struggling. We should get a rough idea of how badly through the first couple of quarters there. Yeah, look at that. Huge understeer though out of turn 3. Can we get a good run in there? We don't want to be stuck behind him into Sector 2 there. Zhou still goes defensive despite the issues. Team have clearly told him to fight it, but round the outside, at the inside for the next corner. Oh, I accidentally put it in neutral. But we're up again. Lando Norris again following us through though. Oh, Sutton's got massively fishtaily out of Sector 2 there into Sector 3. Just saw that from the Ferrari in front of us, and now we might be ready to pounce in this Grand Prix. Oh, I thought about it. Oh, no, Sainz having none of that. Just completely chopped across my front end there. Didn't think we'd actually have the car alongside him through that stadium section hairpin there. But, yeah, really starting to struggle on these tyres. There's Schwartzman in.
Is coming in for his stop.
Is he making the bold call on Twinters? Surely not yet still. Oh, more yellow flags out. I think that's one of the Alpines. What's Alonso done? I think he's dropped it. So has it been contact then with the Aston Martin and George Russell alongside him there as they head through Sector 1? Very sort of clumsy between them both. And yeah, Alonso, a very slow and disappointing half spin there into the grass. Oh, more carnage. Who's gone round now? It's Charles Leclerc who's dropped it. And we got a safety car. Running on board then with Charles Leclerc, who has brought out the safety car in this Mexican Grand Prix. Clearly everyone's struggling in these tricky conditions there and just nudges it over the curb. Lucky not to rip a wheel off there and nowhere to go without a front wing. Is it worth now making the pit onto the intermediate tyres here? I think we've got to gamble it and try and hopefully move ourselves up through the order if it does get wet enough. If not, we're just going to be right at the very back once more. I think it's worth a gamble at this stage of the day, as long as we don't cook this rubber under the safety car. Get it slowed down. There we go. And yeah, we're going to see if we can try and perform a bit of a miracle in this Grand Prix there. Latifi's got a 5-second penalty. No idea what he's done to deserve that. But yeah, we're already halfway through this race and it's already been carnage. Why are we getting a front wing change as well, team? I mean, I'm not going to worry about it too much, but why? I haven't hit the front wing on anything. Come on. 9 seconds stop there. Might just have been out ahead of Schwartzman and Giovinazzi, but not going to worry too much.
Okay, you only have to stop once now. 1 stop left.
Oh, I'm not going to lie. Unless it rains quite quickly here, I don't think these inters are the right way to go. Really struggling to build up any heat in them, and obviously try not to take too much out of them either. So if it does get wet enough, we've still got a lot of grip in them. But yeah, not fun. Here, we need to just wait out a couple of laps, see if the rain gets any worse.
We're expecting the rain to hit us any time now. Dries seem like the best tyre for now.
Oh, come on, that doesn't help. The team is saying the rain might be any time, but they're still saying dries now. We've got to make a decision, not the end of this one, but I think the end of the next lap, whether we come back in or not. I'm still saying we need to come back in onto another set of dries. Is it worth the gamble? Do we think the rain might get worse later on? Safety car isn't in this lap yet. No, I just don't think we can risk it at the moment. We'll head back in at the end of this one on some mediums. We will be back out of the rear of the field then. It was what I thought might be an inspired call, but it shouldn't cost us too much here. We haven't really got much else to lose at this stage of the Grand Prix. And even then, if it does go back to the inters quite soon, we'll still be right with the rest of the field. I think we've put about 30% wear through these tyres in a couple of laps as well. Yeah, 20% in 3 laps. We're certainly not going to be never going to be fun anyway in this Grand Prix, so we will dive it back in there. Verstappen, yeah, still the only man out of this crazy carnage race so far. But we'll get back out on some mediums, and then fingers crossed we can then take him to a wet period or then take him to the flag, either or. Oh god, safety car's in this lap. Safety car's in this lap. We've got to try and catch up like a whole sector.
Ready to go racing again. The safety car is in this lap. When the field accelerates,
Jeff,
remember,
we know how a safety car works. There's bigger things to worry about now. Come on, we got to try and close up. I've got to pray Hamilton bunches up the field massively as well through the final couple of quarters. Hamilton's not. What is Hamilton not bunching everyone up more? Mate, why? Come on, we got to get up to the back of these guys. We're not going to be far away. But, oh, it's green flag and we're like 5 seconds back still. Hamilton, why? You could have given us a chance, mate. Thanks. Well, I don't know what on earth I've done to upset Hamilton so much, but clearly we're not on his Christmas card list. We're still, yeah, like we said, about 4 seconds back from Charles Leclerc. But fingers crossed we can get to the end of the race on these tyres. Got more yellow flags. Who's had issues? We got another safety car. Someone's binned it. What on earth's gone on? Oh, so I can't see exactly what it was, but it looks like Perez has binned it. The Alpine's just punted him there, and then everyone else is trying to carve their way through, as Perez, 2 years running, has binned it from podium positions here at the Mexican Grand Prix. Has anyone else binned it behind? I don't think so. There's us trying to slice our way through. But more carnage and another safety car. Oh, there we go. All the top guys now into the pit lane here. So what are they trying to do in this Grand Prix? Could have set a soft CS right the way through to the end here, as it's certainly going to reshuffle up the order. Look at that, loads of cars into the pit lane. Schwartzman, our teammate, stays out as well, and we're going to be in like P6 of this race here. There is Lewis Hamilton, and we're ahead of him, P6, yeah. In the Mexican Grand Prix there, Lance Stroll? Who am I on about? Robert Schwartzman even. Don't know how I got those two muddled up. Yeah, Schwartzman now 7th just behind us as a rear gunner. Mazepin in 4th. What's going on?
This light rain is going to be with us for a while now.
Oh, that's not what we want to hear. The light rain's going to be staying. This is just not going to get to the end. Oh, Ricciardo. From the lead of the Grand Prix, Ricciardo looks to be falling out of this Mexican Grand Prix. And, I mean, this is, yeah, just as crazy as last season then. Ricciardo out from the lead under safety car. That must be gutting for McLaren. That was a golden opportunity for McLaren to take big constructors' points out of Mercedes this weekend, and it has all gone up in literal smoke for Daniel Ricciardo. Their heartbreak for them, as yeah, that could have easily been the gap down to sort of 20-30 points with 3 to go. Safety car in then at the end of lap 24. George Russell leads the way with just 12 to go here. From Mexico, Nikita Mazepin, 3rd place for Haas. You won't see anything like that ever again in Formula 1, I don't think. But now we've got to try and stay on the road for the final third of this Grand Prix, because there is a big chance of points this weekend there. Heading back down towards turn 1. Are we going to see any more slip-ups through the S's now? You can see everyone just tiptoeing around. It's not wet enough still for intermediate tyres here, but you can see the understeer on the dries as we try to work some heat into the rubber there. We've got Schwartzman just behind us as well. Hamilton now trying to have a look for something as we go 3 wide with our teammate and the 9-time world champion here down towards turn 4. We're going to have to hang our teammate out to dry there. I hate to do it to him, but we had to make that move. And Schwartzman, I think he is going to hold on again ahead of Hamilton for now. We need him as a rear gunner here. Has Hamilton pulled it off? I think Hamilton has. So unfortunate for Schwartzman, he's going to drop back down to P7 as we head through the S's. Are we all going to make it through? Looks like the top runners have. But is everyone else behind there? I think everyone is now, so everyone being so cautious through there. Hamilton's now got a big run on us as we head down in towards Sector 3. Up the inside goes the Merc there. A bit of wheel-to-wheel contact between myself and Lewis Hamilton there. Remember, he left us out under that first safety car, so I'm not giving him anything at this stage of the day. He's got none of the gain, got none to lose and everything to gain by going for it. Of course, already with the title wrapped up, but I'm not going to make it easy for him there. Carlos Sainz into the pit lane. So we're now up to 4th as Hamilton tries to get a run on us back down towards turn 1 again. We're going to give him a nice old squeeze in towards the first corner here. Then we'll flick back over to the racing line, down in towards the apex. Hooking out right around the outside of Hamilton there. Mazepin, now P2 of this Mexican Grand Prix. Oh, more yellow flags. That's one of the McLarens again around. Is that must be Lando Norris, so he's dropped it twice today. Has Lando just dropped it out over the curbing once again here. McLaren's day goes from bad to worse though at this stage. Yeah, dips it just over the curb. Tries to catch the oversteer. And the McLaren's round again.
Okay, the stewards have now enabled DRS. DRS is now online.
Surely that's not a great idea at this stage of the game. People are spinning out left, right and centre. And Michael Massey's gone, yeah, no, DRS, that's fine. Surely there's not going to be much defence Mazepin can put up in that Haas car. No, Mazepin in at the end of lap 27 there, so clearly can't get those hard tyres, soft tyres even, sorry, to the end of the Grand Prix there. We get a huge snap of oversteer, which is going to allow Hamilton around the outside there. It's a drag race, but look at that, we got the top end speed over Lewis Hamilton. How do we have more top end than at the Mercedes there? We'll duck back into the slipstream of Charles Leclerc. And that was never going to end well. Again, that was not what I wanted to do. In towards turn 1 there. Luckily, somehow we both come out of that in one piece. But now we're definitely applying some pressure to Charles Leclerc late on in this Grand Prix there, as George Russell still leads the way in his Aston Martin. Was worried then we go into the back of Leclerc again through turn 4, as Hamilton will hang him out to dry once more. Perez out. What's going on? Perez out of the Grand Prix. We've got a third safety car. So both Red Bulls then out of the Mexican Grand Prix there, and Perez has done basically the same as he did last year, but just hits the other wall. Sergio Perez and the Mexican Grand Prix are just not a combination on F1 2021. Why? Why is George Russell in with 6 to go here? He's completely thrown away what could have been his very first Formula 1 race victory here, unless he's making an inspired call. Onto intermediate tyres here. George Russell might just have thrown away his one big shot at a win.
Other teams are fitting intermediate tyres. It might be worth considering changing yours too. Safety car is in this lap. Safety car in this lap. Let's make sure those tyres are up to temperature, and remember, there is no overtaking until the timing line. Stay in position until the green flags.
Well, George Russell then has made that inspired call onto intermediates then right in the dying stages of this Mexican Grand Prix. Are we now going to see Charles Leclerc do the same as we try desperately to put some heat into the rubber out of the final corner there? Yeah, Leclerc's in. Are we going to see everyone else behind? No, Hamilton stays out. So Schwartzman now is going to be
Okay, clear.
up in a P4 of this Grand Prix there. Hamilton now takes the lead after we get all kinds of fishtailing back down towards turn 1 there. Stroll's got a good run in the Aston Martin here, but none of us want to lose out on track position at this stage of the Grand Prix. We're fighting back down around the outside through turn 1 there, but look at that, none of us have got any steering. Somehow we've come out in front there. We've got a legal overtake though on Hamilton. Come on, Lewis, get on with it, man. We want to give you the spot, but no one else. Hamilton will get back past us here, but this race is just ridiculous. Hamilton, oh, he comes across us there. We try to have a look back around the outside. This time around we just about keep a wheel on the track there, but this is just dry tyres, wet track with 5 to go here of this Grand Prix. Surely soon we're going to see George Russell carving his way back up the order here, but we're now in the lead of the Mexican Grand Prix. There's Stroll now in P2, Schwartzman 4th. What is going to happen in the final few laps here? Are we going to see another mistake from anyone through this middle sector as we're all just tiptoeing through? It looks like everyone's made it through this time round. Schwartzman now holding up a big old train, but this is just ridiculous. I don't get a chance to breathe. Oh, more yellow flags. Not too sure who's got issues then.
DRS has been disabled by the
Seems
stewards.
like...
DRS will be offline.
So the FIA now do believe that DRS has to be disabled here. Hamilton into the pit, so he's going into Schwartzman in as well. Onto intermediate tyres here, and Stroll tries to have a look back past us down towards turn 1 there. Bottas is P4 for Williams as we try not to lock up into the Aston Martin through the first couple of corners here, but 5 to go from Mexico. Can we hold on there? Bottas is into the podium for just a brief moment there. The Williams into the podium places. This could be huge for both Bottas and Ocon in this Grand Prix there, but who's going to come out on top? The track is just an ice rink at this stage of the Grand Prix there, but neither Stroll nor I willing to pit still at this stage of the day though. I think we've just got to hang on to the end.
28.8 seconds.
Love to hear that there. Yuki Tsunoda into the pit lane as well as one of the Alfa Romeos. But this yet now surely is a battle between Stroll and I for the race victory. 2.5 laps to go, and Ocon now is closing in alarmingly quickly on both myself and the Canadian Lance Stroll here. These are always the conditions where Lance Stroll comes alive, but we've got nothing left. What are those rear tyres at wear-wise?
We have
35.
remaining.
They are absolutely destroyed there as all these guys now closing in. I just got no confidence at this stage of the Grand Prix, but just praying we can hang on. And that's exactly why I've got no confidence in the car there. We just lightly dab the throttle, and the back end tries to come round on us.
For at least 20 minutes, maybe more. Light rain is here to stay.
Jeff, we got bigger things to worry about, man. Come on, we got to try and defend from Lance Stroll. And look at that, Stroll tries to get a run on us, but gets squirrely as we move to the inside there. Ocon's now got a run on him. Are they going to come together as we head down towards turn 1 here? Or is this going to be Ocon trying to move himself up to P2 of this Mexican Grand Prix there as they go side by side through the first couple of corners? Always the chance that there could be some contact.
Intermediates on now. Come in and switch over if you need to.
Not with 2 laps to go, Jeff. Stroll, though, looks like he might lose the place to Ocon. They're still side by side as we head into Sector 2 there. But I think Stroll might have hung on to it for now. Has he? No. Yes. And it looks like Bottas still there in P4 for Williams. Oh no, I've just noticed who's in P5 in this Grand Prix. There is all we come together with Lance Stroll. George Russell here as Ocon tries to look up the inside. What is that? From Esteban Ocon. Oh, it's just ridiculous. Here in this Grand Prix there, Bottas now trying to look up the inside as well. We're 3 wide out of the final corner. But really worrying, there is George Russell in the Aston Martin as well. Look at this final lap of the Grand Prix. We've got 8 cars separated by half a second here. It's a drag race between myself and Ocon back down towards turn 1. Oh, we've massively locked up there. We're going to have to do some rallycross. Nothing more we can do over the couple of corners there. And that's surely not a 3-second time penalty. These guys still just duking it out behind. That is so disappointing late on in this Grand Prix. We're just going to have to push like crazy to the checkered flag now and hope these guys hold each other up through Sector 2 there. But look at that, we got nothing left on the front end. Let me know whether you think that was deserving a penalty or not there. We just snagged the brake as we tried to get the car slowed down, and surely this is going to be the win taken away from us here as, oh, look at that, Ocon tries to have a look down the inside as well there as we head through the S's. What is Ocon going to be able to do in the Alpine? We're going to have to bail out of that one. Valtteri Bottas into P2 here as George Russell's going to slot past as well into the podium places. He's now going to have a look past Bottas in towards the final couple of corners here. Gasly out of nowhere as well there as well. Bottas does get hung out to dry. There's fireworks out for whatever reason and confetti everywhere, but this has been absolute insanity at the end of the Mexican Grand Prix there. Esteban Ocon is going to come through, I think, for the race victory there, but I've got no idea where we're going to finish. But what on earth has this race been?
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
The thin air here in Mexico City makes this event a brutal one for these Formula One cars. But this team have done a fantastic job to make it to the checkered flag and take a well-earned victory. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
Once again, it's podium time, and once again, it's a clear win for Alpine. Alpine have seen their fair share of success in Formula One, and today is proof that they've still got what it takes to thrill us all. Congratulations to everyone at Alpine. Not the result our points leader wanted, but it certainly makes things interesting going forward. So, Anthony Davidson, who would you rank as your driver of the day?
Nikita Mazepin gets my vote today.
It's time to see how things are shaping up in the Constructors' Championship. No change in the top spot, but with today's points, their hold on the lead is getting weaker. And with that, we wrap up another weekend of motorsport. But with more races lined up, be sure to join us when we come back with more Formula One.
I am genuinely lost for words at the end of the Mexican Grand Prix there. I thought last year's race was insane around this track, but that one has left me pretty much speechless and pretty much without a voice as well there. Esteban Ocon, bearing in mind obviously in this alternate reality, has not won a Formula One Grand Prix prior to now, is now a Formula One race winner just like we saw in the Hungarian Grand Prix in real life. George Russell, an Aston Martin driver, finishes in P2 behind him, and unlike Sebastian Vettel, he will keep on with that P2 there. Bottas for Williams, P3 at the end of the day there, ahead of Gasly and Lance Stroll there. Lando Norris in 6th, ahead of Charles Leclerc, Hamilton, Guan Yu Zhou, and Nikita Mazepin gets a point for Haas for the first time in F1 2021. Every team will have scored a championship point come the end of the year there. Latifi just missed out ahead of our teammate Schwartzman, but that 3-second penalty put us all the way down to P15. Let me know if you thought that penalty was fair at the end of the day. Like I said, we tried to get the car slowed down in towards turn 1. They just had no rotation on the front end there, and unfortunately that has cost us at the end of the Grand Prix there. You can see the rest of your finishes there. Somehow in all of that, neither Alfa Romeo finished higher than P17 there, but both Red Bulls and Daniel Ricciardo not making it to the flag as well. It does mean championship-wise, George Russell and Lance Stroll both get the jump on myself and Sainz there, and I don't think, unless we get another miracle race late on, that we're going to be able to try and cut that back there. Ocon, he scored 1 point this year up to now, and has now leapfrogged his way up into 14th place there on 26 there. Bottas has got 23 ahead of Guan Yu Zhou there. Schwartzman down to 17th ahead of Lundgaard there, and Mazepin now into 19th place as well. That does mean, yeah, constructors-wise, every team has now scored there. We're just 11 ahead of AlphaTauri. Alpine have brought themselves back to contention as well there. The gap at the top comes down to 51 points as well there. But Haas, if they get 1 more point this year, could jump Alfa Romeo as well on count back there. But like I said, speechless at the end of the Mexican Grand Prix there. We will probably never have a race like that again on F1 2021. For all of you that somehow made it through to the end, thank you so much for watching. At the time of recording, I've got no idea how long this video is gonna be, but yeah, massive thank you for the continued support on F1 2021. We'll be back very, very soon, ready in Brazil. I don't know what to say. A massive thank you for the continued support from our channel members, featuring The Travesty, Patrick, Chuan, David, Ben, Aiden, Efstathios, Kato and Sean for their continued support on the channel. None of the videos would be possible without their support, and if you want to be featured in these clips, make sure you click the join button below.